spotlight trap. My sister needed to be the bride at every wedding. You know that feeling when you're watching a movie and you realize you're just the background character, the one holding the purse while the real star has her big moment in the rain? That was my entire life growing up. My name is Sarah, and I am 31 years old. I grew up in a suburb just outside of Chicago, in one of those houses where the lawn was always manicured, and appearances were everything, and the centerpiece of that perfect picture was my older sister, Jessica. Jessica is, well, she's magnetic. There is no other word for it. She has this dark, glossy hair, a laugh that sounds like wind chimes, and this uncanny ability to make everyone in the room look at her. It's not just that she's pretty, it's that she demands to be seen. If you have a headache, Jessica has a brain tumor. If you got a promotion, Jessica just got scouted by a modeling agency. The first time I realized how bad it was, I was 22. I brought a guy home from college for Easter. His name was Ben. He was sweet, a little nerdy, played the cello. We were sitting at the dinner table, and I was telling my parents about how Ben had just gotten into this prestigious music program. Jessica, she just set her fork down, very slowly. She looked at Ben with these wide, teary eyes and said, "That is so amazing." I always wished I had learned an instrument, but after the accident, my hands just weren't the same. There was no accident. She fell off a bike when she was 7 and scraped her elbow. But suddenly, the whole dinner was about Jessica's tragic, lost potential. By dessert, she had Ben in the living room, letting him examine her fingers to see if they were flexible enough to play piano. I was clearing the table, alone. Ben broke up with me 2 weeks later. He said he didn't feel a spark. A month later, I saw him on Jessica's Snapchat story. They were at a concert. That was the pattern. It happened with Ben. It happened with a guy named Josh, who was a paralegal I dated for 3 months. Jessica hired him to help with a speeding ticket, and they ended up dating for a year. It happened so many times that I just stopped. I stopped bringing guys around. I stopped talking about my dating life. I became a vault. My mother always defended her. She'd say, "Sarah, honey, don't be jealous. Jessica just has a big personality. She doesn't mean to overshadow you," but she did. We all knew she did. Then I met Caleb. I was 29. I had just bought a fixer-upper condo on the south side of the city, and I needed a contractor to redo the kitchen because the cabinets were literally falling off the walls. Caleb was the guy my coworker recommended. He wasn't like the guys I usually dated. He was quiet, rough hands, sawdust in his beard. He didn't wear suits. He wore Carhartt jackets and steel-toed boots. He didn't care about image or status. He cared about load-bearing walls and good coffee. We fell in love over drywall samples. It was slow. It was quiet. It was real. He didn't look through me. He looked at me. He noticed when I was tired. He remembered how I took my tea. He made me feel solid. We had been together for 8 months before. I even thought about introducing him to my family. I was terrified, but my parents' 30th anniversary party was coming up, a big backyard barbecue. I couldn't not go. And Caleb, he insisted. He said, "Babe, I handle power tools and angry inspectors all day. I think I can handle your sister." I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white as we pulled into my parents' driveway. I turned to him and said, "Listen to me. She is going to try to charm you. She is going to touch your arm. She is going to have some emergency that only you can fix. Just please don't fall for it." Caleb just squeezed my hand. "I'm with you, Sarah. Only you." We walked into the backyard. It was like walking into a magazine spread. Fairy lights, catered food, my mom running around with a wine glass, and there, holding court by the pool, was Jessica. She was wearing this flowy white sundress that looked suspiciously bridal. She saw us and her radar pinged. I literally saw her eyes lock onto Caleb. "Sarah," she screamed, running over. She hugged me for a split second, then pulled back and looked Caleb up and down. "And you must be the famous mystery man. I'm Jessica." She held out her hand, but she didn't just shake his. She used both her hands to cup his, looking up at him through her lashes. "Sarah says you build things. That is so fascinating. I love a man who works with his hands." Caleb just nodded, pulled his hand back gently, and said, "Nice to meet you. Happy anniversary to your parents." He put his arm around my waist and turned me toward the bar. "Let's get you a drink, babe." I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding, but Jessica, she wasn't done. She followed us. "So," she said, leaning against the bar, posing so the light hit her cheekbones just right. "I actually have this disaster happening at my apartment. My shelf fell down, right over my bed. I am so scared it's going to happen again while I'm sleeping. Do you think maybe you could come look at it? I'd feel so much safer getting a professional opinion." This was it. The trap, the damsel in distress move. Caleb took a sip of his beer. He didn't even look at her. He looked at me and said, "Sarah, did you want a lime in this?" Then he turned to Jessica, his face completely blank, and said, "I charge $200 an hour for consultations, and I'm booked out until November. But you can check Angie's list. Plenty of handymen on there." I almost choked on my soda. Jessica blinked. She looked like someone had just spoken a foreign language to her. She wasn't used to no. She wasn't used to being treated like a customer. She laughed, a brittle, high-pitched sound. "Oh, stop. I'm family. You wouldn't charge family." Caleb finally looked at her, really looked at her. "I'm not family yet, and I don't work on weekends. That's my time with Sarah." He turned his back on her. He turned his back on Jessica. I felt this surge of electricity. For the rest of the party, it was like a game of cat and mouse. Jessica would bring up politics to start a fight. Caleb would just shrug and say, "I don't follow the news much." She tried to make fun of my outfit. Caleb said, "I think she looks beautiful." By the time we left, Jessica was fuming. She was sitting in the corner, aggressively texting on her phone. My mom whispered to me on the way out, "I don't think he likes us very much." I smiled. "I think he likes me, Mom. That's the point." 6 months later, Caleb proposed. He did it in our half-renovated kitchen while we were eating takeout on the floor. It was perfect. We decided on a small wedding, just close friends and family. My parents offered to pay, but there was a catch. Jessica had to be the maid of honor. "I can't not have her," my mom said. "It would break her heart, Sarah. She's your sister." I wanted to say no. I really did. But part of me wanted her to see it. I wanted her to stand there and watch me marry the one guy she couldn't steal, so I agreed. Big mistake. The planning was a nightmare. Jessica complained about the bridesmaid dress color. It washed her out. She complained about the venue. It was too rustic. At the bachelorette party, she got drunk and gave a 20-minute toast about her own recent breakup, crying mascara tears all over my sash. But the real show happened at the rehearsal dinner. We were at this nice Italian restaurant. Everyone was laughing, drinking wine. Caleb looked so handsome in his his button-down. I went to the bathroom to freshen up. When I came back, the hallway was empty, but I heard voices coming from the little patio area outside. You know, I just worry about her. It was Jessica's voice, low. Concerned, I stopped. I knew I shouldn't listen, but my feet were glued to the floor. Sarah is fragile, Jessica was saying. She clings to people. I just don't want you to feel trapped. You seem like such a free spirit. Caleb, I feel like we have that in common. Like, we get it. I peeked around the corner. Jessica was standing incredibly close to him. Her hand was resting on his chest, right over his heart. If you ever need to, talk, she whispered, leaning in. Or just escape. I'm around. My heart hammered in my throat. This was it. The moment she ruined everything. Caleb took a step back. He didn't look angry. He looked bored. Jessica, he said. His voice was loud, not shouting, but projecting. Please take your hand off me. It was dead silent. You have been trying to cut your sister down since the day I met you, Caleb said. And frankly, it's embarrassing. You're 33 years old. Stop acting like a high school mean girl and let your sister be happy for one day. He didn't whisper it. He didn't say it politely. He said it loud enough that my dad, who had just walked onto the patio, heard every word. Jessica turned pale. I was just fixing his tie. My tie is fine, Caleb said. Then he looked at the doorway and saw me. His face softened immediately. Ready to go, babe? I'm starving. We left. We walked right past a stunned Jessica and a very confused dad. The wedding was the next day, and honestly, I expected Jessica to cause a scene. I expected her to object or faint or wear white. She walked down the aisle. She stood next to me. She held my flowers, but she didn't look at Caleb, and she didn't look at the audience. She looked small. For the first time in my life, she wasn't the main character. She was just a guest. We've been married for 2 years now. We moved a few hours away, closer to Caleb's family. We have a garden. We have a dog. It's quiet. Jessica is still Jessica. She's on her 3rd engagement now. She posts constantly on Instagram about her perfect life, but she doesn't visit much. Last Christmas, we went back home. Jessica was there with her new fiance, some guy named Brett, who looked terrified. She started telling a story about how she rescued a stray cat from a burning building or something ridiculous. Everyone was oohing and ahhing. I looked at Caleb. He caught my eye from across the table and just winked, a tiny secret wink. It was a reminder. Let her have the applause. Let her have the spotlight. Let her have the noise. I have the real thing, and that is the best revenge in the world. For more videos, subscribe now.